today's call. All right, so getting started for this week. So first wanted to address some things going on with the ASR. For those of you that are reviewing it, I just wanted to first address some specific issues that we're having with 2 of the 7 student information system vendors. We should be getting an update about this later on today, but for power school districts, you may notice that you do not have a emergency code that you can use related to COVID-19. Right now, a lot of your calendar dates for that closure period are coming up to the state as a other code, or you'll see 4 9s if you're looking at the ASR report. That particular code is not expected to be used during this period of time. For the COVID-19 closures, we are expecting for the code of COVID-19 to be sent up to us. So if we're talking in terms of that is a 0849 code. It is an emergency day. For Infinite Campus districts, there's an issue related to your first 9 weeks. So if you're going in the data validation wizard, you'll notice that you have probably a couple of calendar related issues with that error description of the first 9 weeks is invalid. We are fixing that. We're going to temporarily turn that validation off. This is happening because of some changes that Infinite Campus did so that they could address the change in the way that we're calculating average daily attendance and average daily membership. Since we were cutting that off as of March 12th, Infinite Campus made some adjustments, and that resulted in your first 9 weeks date coming across as 3/12 as well. So obviously, that validation's checking for a valid date, and if you have a first 9 weeks in March of 2020, that's way too far in the future, so that's why that validation is popping up so frequently for those of you that are using Infinite Campus. You should see notes about both of those issues on your homepage if you are using either of those student information systems. As soon as we know and we lay eyes on it being fixed, we will take those notes off. So just keep an eye out on that. We'll make sure that it's updated, so if you happen to miss communication directly from them, you can double check on the Waves homepage too. For calendar issues, some of you have either emailed us or used our Teams channel to let us know you're seeing weird calculation issues with the number of days taught, professional days, and days in session. We've got that section corrected, so you should be seeing the right number of days taught for all of your calendars. There was just an addition hiccup on the back end of things, so we got that fixed overnight.
But I told Andrew,
double check to make sure that everything's going well with your calendars. If you are seeing any other weird information or inconsistencies between your own district reports and what's on the ASR, please just let us know. The more specific you can get, the better. We can troubleshoot on our end and see if this is something that's caused by our system, or if that's something that you'll need to coordinate with your student information system support to get it corrected. So that's it for the ASR. Forward to reports. So we're still working on getting the complete master list of all the reports that you're expected to be doing between now and the end of the fiscal year, so the end of June. We're waiting to get that list back from our legal department. So as soon as we get that, we will share it out everywhere we typically do. So right now, I guess to put it simply, if you haven't heard directly from a division saying specifically that this report is going to be closed or is not expected to be completed this year, just go on with the expectation that that report is still going to be due in the same time frame that it usually is. Many of the reports that we have going between now and the end of the year are federally mandated. So we can't make a lot of exceptions for some of those, but for others, we might have some wiggle room. So as soon as we get that list back from our legal department, we will share that everywhere we can. So for our Teams collaboration, we've got a good handful of you all that has joined. Many of you have already spoken up, asked a question, asked for us to add additional folks in your district, and that's great. If you do want to be added to our Microsoft Teams channel to collaborate with our office and even other districts, please leave your name and your email in the chat. We'll get you added. Or if right now is not the best time, you're calling in through your cell phone or something like that, the link to ask to be added to the team is also on the WAVES homepage. There's a little form that you fill out and we'll get you added usually within the day if you're using the form. You can also just email us at studentdatainfo@sd.ok.gov and ask the same thing. Feel free to share it with anybody else in your district. We've had some good questions pop up since we started implementing this. So again, it's just a tool that you can use. You can call us, you can directly IM us, you can just leave a chat or a question generally so that everybody could see it. It's really up to you. It's just a way that you can potentially get more information out of us quicker than you could potentially with an email. And especially if right now, if you did need to talk to us locally, you can click on our name on Teams and give us a ring and it'll call to our computers since many of us don't have the means specifically to call out without using our personal devices. So just to keep things a little secure and whatnot, you can use Teams to get a hold of us if you want to, but it's completely optional. You definitely don't need to join if you're not comfortable. So with that, last thing I wanted to hit on today was validations. I just wanted to remind everyone to continue to look at your validations. If you are seeing any language related validations with your EL students, if for some reason this school year a parent or guardian is requesting that all 3 language types for your student be English rather than say English, Spanish, Spanish, that will cause a validation error or warning. For the time being, those are fine. It's just a heads up to alert you all that you do have students that are indicated as being EL, but we're not getting a language outside of English. We are working on getting a list of all of the new validations that we'll be doing for the next school year. We'll be collecting a lot of information that has kind of slipped through the cracks over the last 9 years or so. We'll be, for example, for next school year, requiring you all to let us know who your superintendent is. That's information that somebody in your district is reporting to the state, but for many districts, we're not getting that directly through the normal means through the WAVE. It's something that's hand entered into a report. And so if you're entering it into various different reports, it has the potential of being wrong. So we're going to start requiring some contact information and other little pieces of information that we could use to help you all pre-populate reports. et cetera, et cetera. So be on the lookout for that. As soon as we get that master list, we will share that out to you and all of the student information system vendors so that all of us are on the same page. We're expecting to have that done here in the next month and a half or so. So just a heads up. So one other thing, Erin had this great idea of highlighting a validation of the week. So next week, we're going to start alerting you all to a validation that we're noticing that's affecting many districts, not just one student that is at one district. We want to try and help you all fix validations that are affecting many of you. And if we're noticing it for a long period of time, we'll help you understand maybe what that validation is and give you some tips on maybe how to correct that or to tell you what we're looking for if it's not that clear. So that'll be a new thing for next week, and we'll try to do that for the rest of the weekly waves. We have 4 more before this series ends. When we get closer to the end, I'll kind of pull you guys on if this day still works and whatnot. We had a form out earlier, and so far it's looking like we'll keep the same time and date. But if for any reason we need to make some adjustments for those of you who have something prior, if you have a prior engagement on Thursdays at 10 o'clock, we can look at alternatives maybe. Still have the call at the regular time, but maybe makes these recordings available to you all more frequently and getting those slides up on a more timely manner. So with that, I'm done. If you do have any questions, again, please send us an email. We're trying to get them responded to within 24 hours or so. So if we haven't specifically responded to you and it hasn't been more than 24 hours, please don't just re-email us again. We will get back to you. We answer pretty much every single email or voicemail that comes across our email address. So just be patient with us for right now. And yeah, I will open up the chat now and feel free to speak up as well if you have questions and whatnot. And I'll go ahead and stop the recording.